Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Corey C., and I'm here with two very special guests, the founders of Magic Carpet Ride 369. I really appreciate your time, Triplet Dad and Hextrovert. How are you both today?
Pretty good, bud. Thank you for having us on. And in true Triplet Dad fashion, I am smoking an Olivia Series V. Can't get past that. But thanks for having us on, Corey. It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. A bit early for me to be drinking, so yeah, I'm not doing anything right now. After the interview, I'm about to get on the boat and go wake surfing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm by the water myself, but it's 12 degrees out. So,
well, it's an average of, I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's about 34 degrees Celsius here every day. The water is about 29, so not much difference between the air temperature and the water temperature. And I've been up at the cabin since Christmas Day, and pretty much staying out of the major cities just with all the shit going on down there. And got the kids up here, and we're just out on the boat every day.
Cool. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I see what's happening, and it's sad. So glad you're away from it. So let me ask this: what exactly? I've seen it, and it seems very popular. You have multiple different Telegram channels about it. What is Magic Carpet Ride 369, and where did the name come from?
You take that one, Ty.
Sure, no worries. So back early on at PulseChain Sacrifice, there was a few Aussies and a couple of Americans that sort of bonded in the main chat, and we decided to get our own Telegram group, which was named the Rejects, and we all bonded over there over the coming months. Used to be not just crypto, just everything live, and so we just became quite close, and our video channel used to run for sometimes days at a time, just talking and whatnot, and and then we decided that at some point we wanted to start doing some pre-recorded streams and then moving into live streams. And I had already had a YouTube channel established, which was set up from way back in the day from gaming. And so I didn't really want it to be all about me. Originally it was branded as Hextrovert Ty, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to rebrand this as the name. And we came down to two names. I chose Magic Carpet Ride, and another member suggested down the rabbit hole. We thought Magic Carpet Ride was better in honor of, I guess, Richard Hart and the Hex community, and we're anti-rug pull, and Magic Carpet Ride really is the opposite of a rug pull. So we decided to go with that. So the name is actually Magic Carpet Ride, and the 369's been tacked on because we needed to have something after the name for YouTube and Twitter, and just because the name's so well used. And so we decided in honor of Richard again, we'd go with 369 because it obviously has an alternative meaning to those in the community that understand what Hex is about. So that's why we tacked on the 369 to our YouTube and our Telegram groups, or Telegram group, and Twitter.
That's awesome. I'm really glad that this is an amalgamation of friends and community members. One thing I've noticed about HEX and PulseChain that's very unique to this project is that the community is so tight knit that it's almost like friends without ever meeting each other. And I find it rather amazing that, as we go into this, how there's so much trust between people. And I have actually a lot of trust in the PulseChain community because I missed the sacrifice for PulseChain, and I have an OTC deal with a community member who I trust. And that's the first time I've ever done an OTC deal in my 5 years of crypto. So, it kind of goes to show my trust in this community. So Magic Carpet Ride, for what I've noticed, is a sacrifice pool for PulseX and Liquid Loans. What do you guys say is the benefit of sacrificing in a group rather than individually?
So I could take that one. So here's how the sacrifice came about. When it was around Christmas time, Ty was on vacation a little bit, and Motley's pool opened, right? And there was a bunch of members in our group that just had a little bit of trepidation about paying 10%, right? And that wasn't just Motley. There was a couple of other pools that had the 10% fee to get in. So we decided to band together, right? Just the people in our group, and we thought maybe we could get to like maybe $250,000, right? Between us, and then we opened it up to people who view us on Magic Carpet Ride, right? With all the people that have watched the haunted videos, my videos on chain hopping and change now and all that kind of good stuff. Ty's video with walrus and the root strategy, and we opened it up to everybody, and people just started filing in like crazy. It was unbelievable. We have, how many sacks do we have, Ty? Like 130 now in our group?
Oh no, we're up in sacrifices for PulseX. We're over 140. So
Wow.
Magic Carpet Ride has done 140 sacrifices to the PulseX address.
Wow.
And we're operating the PulseX one right now, and we're doing a pre-sac for Liquid Loans. Okay, the PulseX, our bonding is our multiplier is 2.14 right now, according to pulselead.org, pulselead.com, pulsexlead.com. So we're way up there. We're 20 spots away from Overwatch. We're
Wow.
in spot 21, which
That's a big deal.
we were shooting for first page, right? We thought we'd be hanging around the 90s maybe, right? So this is unbelievable. We're a little bit over $4.1 million in that. We have close to 600 grand sacked in the pre-sack for Liquid Loans, which we're big fans of. We're not employees of Liquid Loans. I ask hard questions to Liquid Loans. I've seen you ask hard questions to Liquid Loans. So I think that's really cool.
Absolutely. I'm sorry.
I'm just stoked, just to add on to Triplet Dad. I'm just stoked that that we can actually give back to, whether it's $100 sacker or $100,000 sacker, that have believed and trusted in Magic Carpet Ride, that we set out to do we thought we'd get a 1.6 to 1.8 multiplier. Was a bit of a hope.
Yeah.
Soon realized that, instead of being the ceiling, that was the floor. We then broke 2. Now we're, like we said, our range is, our lowest part of our range on the estimate is 2.14 on PulseX lead. So I'm just stoked that we can actually offer, I would say we've pretty much locked in a 2x minimum to our, the community that have backed us. So that's just amazing that we can give them, twice as much value.
Yeah, the cool thing about that is everybody that's coming into the sacrifice now is coming in below us. So our amount is going up, right? Our multiplier is going up because it's starting to fill in down low. Nobody above us is sacking any more money and taking any more points. So that's pretty awesome. And when Ty was on vacation, I was DMing him, we need to do a video, and he came back to this, and he jumped right in and has been phenomenal and helping.
I'm still on vacation.
He is still on vacation.
We did a 24-hour stream in our Telegram.
Yeah,
on the last day before the bonding curve. Triplet Dad went non-stop. I did about 40 hours, but to be fair, I had about 4 hours sleep by the time I switched off, but didn't have to use the brain power that TD had to use. So hats off to him. He was wrecked for at least the next day.
Yeah.
On top of that, every day we're updating a spreadsheet based on blockchain exports, and then putting everyone's SAC address and their amounts in there, and then putting that up in our Telegram. So we invite everyone to go and personally check their sacrifice with us, make sure there's no issues. We have a Google form for them that doesn't collect any emails or anything like that, and just says, if you have a problem with your sacrifice with us, fill in the form, give us your Telegram at name so we can look at it. And out of the, 800 or 900 sacrifices to us, we've had about 8 responses. Majority of them they don't see their address on there, and that's because we're still migrating. We allow people to sack with an exchange with us, but there was a protocol in place that they had to follow with TD prior to sacking with us from an exchange. And so those forms were filled in for people who couldn't see their address, that we just haven't migrated all of them yet, because he's got like hundreds of DMs. Other than that, people that just didn't know how to use Excel properly to do a find command for multiple sacks. So pretty happy so far. I mean, we even had someone sacrifice 130,000 units of hex, but they sent it to our tip jar from our YouTube. And after looking at their account and what they did direct with PulseX, in our heart of hearts, we believe that it was meant to be a sacrifice, not a donation. It was about 30K US dollars. So we actually moved it from our tip jar back into our sacrifice wallet, and we stacked it because we felt that it was probably a legitimate sack. And if it wasn't, well, it's a win-win either way. We'll deal with it later. But and we made a video about it. Hopefully that person will come forward, but they may want to stay anonymous. But we've sacked it and put their address on the sheet. No,
that's very noble, and that notion kind of leads me to my next question. There's been so much money sacrificed for PulseX, and now you say close to $1 million sacked for the pre-sack for Liquid Loans through Magic Carpet Ride. Why do you think this pool has had so much success then? And I'm presuming that trust is that notion, kind of.
There's the trust thing. We're very, very open every day. The reason why we have so many sacks is because we take every sack that comes in from us, and every day I live stream in our Telegram room our sacks. So it's very open there, right? And we're giving away everything. So the all the bonuses, all the fees that all the other pools are kind of taking and considering that a cost of doing business, right?
Of course.
We're taking the bonus from Liquid Loans, and we're including that in all the points that are being divvied out to everybody, and we're not taking any fees. So that seems to vibe with everybody. They've seen us do videos and they trust us, and that has grown. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and I'd like to talk to you guys about actually sacrificing with you guys after this hearing, personally hearing this. So after this, I'd love to speak with you guys for a few minutes if that's okay.
No problem.
Awesome. So how can investors within Magic Carpet Ride then ensure, because you guys have a lot of sacrifices with Magic Carpet Ride, ensure that they receive a fair allocation for their investment?
Well, firstly, let's just point out they're sacrificing, right? I think investment's probably a dangerous word at this point, just given the way everything runs. We don't want to see it seem like everyone's involved in a security.
Right. Okay.
It is a sacrifice with no expectation of profit from the work of others. But as Triplet said, we live stream every sack. We audit. He puts them onto the Excel. I then audit it. That's a day-to-day thing. We invite people to search and check that to verify their sacks with us. They see the leaderboard. They see the money's going in there. When we get to the end and things either wind down and stop, we'll do major audits, not only within Magic Carpet Ride, but we have some independent people that have put their hands up, one of them being Profex, and another guy from Europe that's very good with spreadsheets as well, Nicholas. So we're going to have some third-party audits just to make sure everything's in place and keep pushing our community that has sacked with us to check and make sure everything's absolutely right with their sacrifice addresses with us. And there's no, because we soon discovered that when people were staking with us from Staker app, they have it's a contract address. So it's like a relay. So when the sacrifice is coming from Staker app, they all come in with the from Staker app relay address. So we had to identify that they were a Staker app relay address, then go onto the blockchain and actually look at the Interact contract address, which is the actual wallet holder, and repopulate those. And we labeled them as Staker app, and we put that on the Excel, and we informed our sackers, hey, if you sack from Staker app, please check these highlighted ones, make sure they're yours, your address that you would top up money with when you're going to stake hex and those type of things. And and then when it comes down to receiving the tokens, there is a percentage of pool column which will get filled in, and we'll do our best to send everything out in the first few hours.
Yeah, there's an interesting slant to that too. Once this gets close to the end, we're going to ask the community members that have sacked for PulseX, do you want to hold your PulseX, or are you looking to swing this into Pulse minute one, right? We're going to exit all the people that want to hold a randomizer, and we're going to randomize the addresses that have sacked for PulseX, and then we're going to take the people that actually want day one, minute one. We're going to put those people in a randomizer and get them their coins.
Wow.
And so I am exiting myself. Ty's exiting out. A lot of the big bags that are in our sacrifice are exiting out, but there are some folks that want to go into Pulse really, really fast, right? And those people are going to be put in the randomizer, and they'll get their tokens first.
We're
Wow.
also doing it. We've also asked the community that sack with us to donate TPLS, so test pulse to us, to our sack address. So that's been building up. Our aim is to do a test send, so like a test sacrifice set. So
Right.
we're gonna do a test send to everybody that sacked with us and make sure they received. If we get enough TPLS, it'll be one TPLS to everyone, or we might randomize it. But we are gonna do a test send with test PLS to all of our suckers, and then do a video and obviously in our telegrams and say, hey, you should have received test PLS from us. If you didn't, let's have a look at why.
We might do a live dry run, like a 5-hour stream, and send it all out. We're also, we have some people that have given us some gifts. We have a little bit of money coming in from our YouTube channel. We're going to take some tokens and give them to the community. We're going to have drawings, and we're going to make that distribution an actual event.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really nice that you guys are going to do that. And all the more reason why I'm curious to actually sacrifice for you guys now. On that subject regarding YouTube, you have a YouTube channel that is rising substantially in viewership. What do you attribute this success to?
It's everything. Haunted, you can't take it away from Haunted, right?
Absolutely.
The Haunted videos that I did with Walrus, and then the one we did with Hodprill, those took off. The first Haunted video, I think, is our most watched video. The video that Dr. Pulse and Ty and Walrus did regarding the Ruth strategy, that's way up there. And then me and voice chat talking about change now, and doing, everybody knows that I do farming stuff, right? And doing the blockchain, hopping around the blockchain, that is really attributed to the success of that. We're kind of getting a bunch of different people interested in sacks, people interested in strategies, people who don't know how to move from BSC to Phantom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to prepare those people for when PulseChain launches, but we're actually amalgamating a large group of people into one channel, and we have pretty broad viewership there.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great to see that. And I'm presuming then, with this huge rise in those who want to learn how to swap from one blockchain to the next, I'm presuming you've onboarded users from other communities outside of PulseChain and Hex into the Magic Carpet Ride ecosystem.
That's exactly what I end with in every video. Everybody, I've got comments that say, why are you doing this over on Phantom? And I said, this is every video is to make sure that people know how to get their funds out of Phantom and into PulseChain, right? The only thing we don't have that everybody else has is a charting video, because we think there's enough of that, right? We're not going to sit on there with charts and draw triangles and squares. Yes. And channels and dips, and we're not going to forecast squat. We're out there trying to do stuff that's actually useful, that you're going to do with your bags, and maybe to give you some ideas on how this bag could be a big bag, right? That's what we're shooting for.
And we will be adding security. Excuse the birds here.
Okay.
We will be adding security videos with Papa B coming in as well. He's joined the Magic Carpet Ride for 2022.
Awesome.
Him and I are pretty close, being admins for Richard Hart in PulseChain and PulseX, and he's just amazing wealth of knowledge when it comes to OPSEC security, and Trezor and TD and I use ledgers. We advocate for that. We tell all of our members, please get a hardware device and interact with MetaMask through that. And yeah, it's definitely the way to go.
I absolutely agree. I couldn't agree more regarding hardware wallets, especially now that I'm not going to jump to conclusions about the market, but as much as you see scammers a lot in the bull market, you're going to see a lot more if we go on this continued downtrend, because scammers will get desperate for funds. And hardware wallets, basically the last bastion to save your assets. I've heard of people getting hacked on Coinbase through their phones, getting hacked on MetaMask because they went on a phishing website on accident without a hardware wallet. It's just, if you're not acquainted with cryptocurrency, or even if you are and you just decide to fat finger and make a mistake, it sucks. It's gone. It really is. So I would advocate for the same thing, to get a Ledger or a Trezor or any hardware wallet, and always buy it from the main website. You don't want to buy it from a third party like Amazon.
Always from the manufacturer. I know we're getting digressing here, so we'll get off the security soon. But yeah, just quickly,
of course,
we just need to understand that as good as a Trezor and a Ledger is, the most important thing is their seeds. Most of them hacks are social engineered. They give up their seeds. If they give up their seeds, it doesn't matter if you have a Trezor or Ledger. So the seeds are the most important thing, guys.
Agreed. So my last question for both of you, because I'm curious, as two people, those two individuals who have really, really put their heart and soul into this project and these sacrifices, what are your personal thoughts about, and I'm not talking about price, but I'm just talking about vision. What are your personal thoughts about the visions of PulseChain, PulseX, and Liquid Loans?
The king there is going to be PulseChain. Right, that's
long term for sure, 100%.
Yeah. So,
agreed.
There's no coin out there that is worth more than the life's blood of the parent chain, right? And the only one that came close was Hex, right? Hex got close to flipping ETH when it was at 55 cents. But there's nothing on BSC, there's nothing on Phantom, there's no Hector DAO, any of that stuff is not more than Phantom, is not more than ETH, is not more than BNBs, right? So the king there is, of course, the PulseChain. I'm going to use my PulseX and my Liquid Loans to enhance my position in Pulse. That's all I'm doing. I'm doing a variation of the haunted strategy. And I'm going to do a variation so I have some stables built up, so if I go on vacation or something like that, I could pay my loan down on Liquid Loans and just bug out without any worries. So I love Liquid Loans. I'm not sure what to think about PulseX. I'm hoping that there's a single asset pool in there where I can stake that PulseX. And with the DAO and possibly the sway, we have a little bit of moving people in mass, right? With this pool, possibly we can vote as a block to get in the DAO to get a single asset pool for that token. That's my goal. That's my goal for that.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's really, really awesome. I mean, personally, for me, I agree. PulseChain is king. I love Liquid Loans. I've done multiple videos with representatives of Liquid Loans. I think it's a fantastic DeFi project in an ecosystem. I'm not talking about just PulseChain. I'm just talking about crypto in general. An ecosystem of DeFi products that are absolute garbage, so that liquidate people on a dime. And I think Liquid Loans stands out in a crowd. And PulseX, I think a lot of people aped into PulseX because they didn't sacrifice for PulseChain, which kind of speaks the truth of how hyped up PulseChain really is. Everyone's looking for that next layer one blockchain. And but I do believe PulseX does have value in this space. But I absolutely agree. I believe PulseChain is the king of this ecosystem. And there's no argument against that. In my personal opinion, there is none.
100%. I think you might see a little bit of a shakeout on PulseX in the first month, right? First 30 days. But once all the people that have swapped from PulseX into Pulse have had their go at it, you'll start seeing that buy and burn feature take hold, and that will start to march up. And the cool thing about being involved in our pool is with a 2.4 or 2.14 multiplier, we can see over a 50% dip and still be cash positive.
That's amazing. I should have sacrificed with you guys. I made a big mistake. I really should have. So I wish I knew before. I wish I did a little bit more research, but I'm glad I know now, and I do.
You're here now, buddy. You're here now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So I really appreciate both of your time today. I really do. Thank you so much.
What's your theory there, Ty?
What's your theory? Oh, yeah, sure.
Everything you said, I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's this. I really think PulseChain is the king, and the other ones will follow as such.
Of the interviews that you have upcoming, Corey, and the ones that you've done, what products or projects on Pulse do you find to be tempting or at least interesting, other than liquid loans?
I like Pulse First a lot, and the reason why I love Pulse First is because we need to understand how important the next generation is for this ecosystem. And Izzy is still in high school, and he's literally creating an NFT marketplace for, excuse me, for PulseChain, and he's got a very supportive community, and we need to realize how important the successor generation is for this industry. So I'm truly advocating for Pulse First. I like what's the name of the other one that I interviewed? I like Hedron.
Yeah.
I like how it complements Hex stakes. It's a very interesting project to say the least. I've done interviews on DAX, and that's another interesting one. My main focus is liquid loans, and I really love supporting Pulse First because of Izzy, because he's not even 17 years old, and
Right.
he's got a higher IQ than most adults in this world. So I have a lot of respect for a kid that is in school and also doing this.
Right. Cool.
Awesome, gents. So I really appreciate your time, and thank you for the question.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you, guys, again.
Always good to get it.
Thanks for having us on, Corey. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. We got to do this again. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
Absolutely.
I'd just like to say to anyone who's watching this, if they want to come and join our Telegram, it's Magic Carpet Ride 369. Same with YouTube and same with Twitter. Peace.
And I'd like to give a quick shout out to all of our mods. We have people like Nicholas and RB and JJ and David and Haunted and Maxwell and all the ladies that are in our group. Hexy,
Radical Rose.
Yeah.
Man, the list goes on. So, Naughty Panda, Hexy Cat,
Yeah.
RB, Kelly Maverick, one of our sackers who donated to us for StreamYard and whatnot. There's just too many people to thank. So if we have left someone out, I apologize.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Yes. And thank you, all of you, for all what you do for Magic Carpet Ride and PulseChain and Hex. So cheers to all of you.
Yeah.